Life is full of surprises. We find ourselves in places we never imagined, enjoying things we never thought we would, and sometimes getting tired of what we once thought would be our final destination. Life keeps us on our toes, making us adapt and grow. Every experience, expected or not, helps us understand who we are and what we truly value. In the end, life is a series of moments. Happy, sad, desperate, funny, peaceful, loving, and learning moments that shape who we are, always moving and evolving.
Hey, welcome back. Today, I woke up early to watch the sunrise. I love this feeling of being alone with my thoughts, as if the universe is listening only to me. This peaceful moment helps me start the day with positive energy. Yesterday, the sea was a dreamy blue, something I rarely see. I wonder why the sea changes color so much. If you know, tell me in the comments. Lately, I've been thinking about how valuable it is to be self-sufficient and to learn to do things for yourself. When I live in London, I noticed that many people hire professionals for absolutely everything. A painter, a gardener, even an electrician to only change a light bulb. And I think this is good in a way because it creates jobs, but I also think that it makes us dependent, which can increase the cost of living. Learning to do things for ourselves is really important and something we are losing. And I'm not saying in a way of cutting ourselves off from society, but developing our skills and creativity. Being self-sufficient let us face life challenges with more confidence and less dependence on others. And it gives us a sense of achievement and satisfaction. Today, I have lots of work to do. I need to sew some curtains for the van. I bought a mini sewing machine, Dola Fare. I'm super excited about using it. Let's see how it goes. Up until now, every time I have to sew something in the van, I did it by hand. We thought about taking it to a tailor shop, but considering that we are really unpredictable and we are never in one place for so long, it was not really convenient for us. It's not really possible. So instead, we decided to buy our own sewing machine.
Shake your head to anything, to anyone. Ooh.
When we were converting the van, we weren't quite sure whether to hire someone to make the cushions covers, like these ones. I had no idea how to sew, but Leah's mom had a sewing machine and we really wanted to do everything ourselves. So I took on the challenge of learning to sew. The initial opinions from some people were to leave it to professionals and not to waste my time because I wouldn't be able to do it. At another point in my life, I might have listened to them, but I was already on my personal growth journey, and I knew that with effort and dedication, you can achieve anything. If someone else can do it, so can you. It might take us longer the first time we try, but with all the information available online, with all the YouTube videos on how to do things, life is much easier than what sometimes we think. Bear in mind that sometimes asking professionals for advice can be counterproductive. People who work in a field might feel threatened and tell you that you can't do it. If you need support and motivation, it's better to look for it in people who are also learning or people who are always there to do the things for themselves. I've got a lot of sewing to do in the van. First, I need to adjust these two curtains that go here at the back in this pole. We separated the garage from the living area. So now I need to adjust this to this height. I also bought this LED
to put at the bottom of the curtains, just so the curtain has some weight and it doesn't fly away with the wind.
And I know you know the cost of letting go. Is it worth it? Nothing's perfect. You don't even wanna know. Lean on your faith. Let's get lost.
And that's 6 against all opposite lines.
Let's get lost in it.
You know, when I was younger, I thought knowing how to sew, especially as a woman, was something old-fashioned and unnecessary. In my mind, sewing belonged to a simpler, outdated life, more suited to older generations. We live in a time where we can buy clothes very cheaply, and to me, being a modern woman meant learning other skills more related to technology. I born loving technology, I'm not gonna deny that, it's in my DNA. However, with time and experience, I learned that sometimes in our effort to break away from stereotypes, we end up limiting ourselves. While trying to break traditional expectations, we stop acquiring practical and valuable day-to-day skills. Sewing, for example, is not only a super useful skill, but also a form of creative expression and self-sufficient. I learned that knowing to sew is not going to make me less or more of a modern woman. It's just ridiculous that I used to think this. As I get closer to 30, I've come to understand that there's great satisfaction in being able to do things yourself. Knowing how to do basic tasks not only gives you independence, but also connects you to a more meaningful and fulfilling way of living. I'm not sure if I'm good or bad, I have no one to compare myself with, but one thing I have done is to increase my confidence, which I think is a gradual process. It's like putting yourself outside your comfort zone, and if you keep doing that, eventually it's not as uncomfortable. Since I kept doing this, now I feel I can do almost anything I put my mind to. I really do. I also realized that keeping a positive attitude has helped a lot. I feel like if you keep telling yourself, it's okay, I will learn how to do it, it will look okay, you will actually manage to achieve it. But if instead you focus on, I'm too bad at this, I shouldn't have done it, then you'll give up at any obstacles. When I was making these cushions, for example, I had many moments where I was like, I'm not sure what I'm doing with my life. I mean, why am I doing this? I don't even know how to do it, but I had faith in myself, and I really, really wanted to do a good job, and not too bad. I'm actually quite proud of how they turn out. I'm glad I did it, because now I feel comfortable to do any sewing fixing that needs to be done in the van. I think that having faith is really important to be able to grow and learn, and sometimes we forget that if we keep repeating negative things to ourselves, our subconscious will believe it and will bring you only negative moments and failures. Oh, and this reminds me that recently I read in a book, life's battles don't always go to the stronger or faster man, but sooner or later the man who wins is the man who thinks he can win. Have you ever heard about the Ikea effect? It's a fascinating concept. You know how Ikea sends you flat packs of furniture to put yourself together, right? Well, originally they did this to save space and cut down the shipping cost. But they accidentally discovered something really interesting. People end up loving the furniture more when they build it themselves. Even though a lot of people complain about assembling the furniture, it turns out that they actually valued it more. A study showed that people who put together their own Ikea pieces think their creations are as good as those made by professionals. Because when you finish building something, you feel really proud of it. You put in the work, and that makes the item special to you. It's like, hey, I made this. That's probably why I think the cushions cover look better than what they would look to you. But here's the catch. This feeling only happens if you complete the project. If you give up halfway, the magic kind of disappears. We focus so much on instant gratification with social media that we forget that practical skills are much more rewarding, even if requires patience. Once you experience the satisfaction of doing things that are new to you, it makes you more open and even addicted to make new things again to get that reward. Simple living makes you appreciate things more. When you do things with your own hands, you understand the effort and the time it takes, and that makes you value the final result more.
It's hard to take the time to do things when we live in a world where everything has to be done quickly, where we have to get everything with the least effort or as fast as possible. I have to admit that while I don't mind putting in a lot of work and effort, I do constantly check the clock. I live against the clock when I do things. I sometimes forget to enjoy the process. I forget to take things calmly. I forget that I'm not running a marathon and that I don't have to finish things by a certain time or date.
So, my challenge for you is to learn something new, something you can do yourself. It could be something small like changing a light bulb, or something bigger like building a piece of furniture. The important thing is to keep developing your skill and challenging yourself. Is there something you always wanted to learn to do yourself? Tell me in the comments. Let's motivate each other to be more self-sufficient and enjoy the learning process.
See you next week.